Hi, I'm Jamie with The Saving Secret, where I help you be more intentional with your money. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the Fidelity Cash Manager, a really unique tool that you're able to add to your Fidelity Cash Management account that will enable you to have free overdraft protection. And there's a couple of different features within this tool that are really amazing. And if you stay through to the end, not only am I going to go through the pros and cons, I'm actually going to show you how to set it up on the Fidelity website, which can be a little bit cumbersome, but we're going to jump right in. All right, so before you get the Fidelity Cash Manager tool, you need to have a Fidelity Cash Management account with Fidelity. And if you're unfamiliar with a Fidelity account, I'm just going to give a real brief overview. It gives really high APY as far as FDIC coverage for your cash at 2.6%. It offers no fees or minimums. And when they say no fees or minimums, they mean it. You get ATMs reimbursed globally. You get all the different features that you would expect from a bank. But one feature that they don't even highlight on here that I've had personal experience with is if you set up direct deposit, your income will actually show up faster than it would at a traditional bank. It's kind of other features like Chime and some of these other fintech companies promote that feature. It is not promoted in the Fidelity Cash Management account. I'm not sure why, because it is definitely a feature that happens where you get your money faster. And then anyways, it's just a great place. You can organize your bills, pay with mobile checking, a lot of different cool features. So if you're not familiar with that, I'll leave a link to it. It's very good. It's actually Forbes calls it the best out there for cash management accounts. So you need to have one of those accounts. Once you have one of those out, we're talking about the Fidelity Cash Manager tool. So let's talk about that. So what is it? So the Cash Manager is a key exclusive to the Fidelity Cash Management account that lets you automatically move cash to your account when you need it and actively invest extra cash when you have it. So really there are three main features with the Fidelity Cash Manager. One is it really does make sure that you have a minimum, that you're keeping a minimum balance. And what it does is every day, at about midnight, it's going to look to make sure that your account has a certain dollar amount. And if it doesn't, it's going to move money into that account. That's one of the features. The second one is the max feature. Let's say you have too much cash in your account and you don't like having that much cash. You want to move it to investing. You want to make your money work for you. So what it's going to do is it's going to send you an alert that says, hey, you have this money, and it gives you the option to move it over to a brokerage account, or you can invest it in the account there it is. The last feature is what people are more familiar with in traditional banking, and that is the self-funded overdraft protection. And what that does is it allows cash to be automatically transferred to your cash management account through an existing Fidelity account, like a brokerage account, and makes it so that you will never drop below zero. So it's a really unique perspective. For example, in myself, I have done this where I have zero in my cash management account. I set up direct deposit with my brokerage account. And what it'll do is when I use my ATM card for my Fidelity Cash Management, even though there's zero in there, it will allow the transaction to go through, because it allows to make sure that it'll pull money directly from my Fidelity brokerage account into my cash management account. So it will never. So that's the overdraft protection. And all of this is free. So it might be a little bit confusing, but let me go into a couple of questions that you may have. So this is directly from the Fidelity site about some of the questions. So we've talked a little bit about what the Cash Manager is. And so let me talk a little bit about what's the difference between the self-funded overdraft protection and the minimum target balance, because those are two separate things. They do a really good job of breaking it down. And so let me walk through it. It says the self-funded overdraft protection provides cash for immediately pending transactions if your balance would otherwise go into overdraft that is below zero, kind of like the example I was using with my debit card pulling out of an ATM. The Cash Manager will draw on available cash, available margin, and non-money market funds designed in your designed Fidelity Fund account, up to basically $100,000 per day. Cash Manager will draw only enough to prevent the negative balance to occur. So it's going to just pull what you need. Now, the minimum balance target, the target balance, is used to automatically transfer cash on a nightly basis to restore cash to that minimum you have set for your Fidelity cash management account. It is triggered by your available cash balance only, not transactions, and withdrawal your minimum transfer amount of $250 from your designated funds up to $100,000 per day for the funding account, and if in order, the order you've set. So there's, like I said, two different features. I personally really like the self-funded overdraft protection because for me, I want to keep more of my idle cash in my brokerage account, because the more money that I keep in my brokerage account, the more money it's going to be earning on SPAXX, which is the core position, which is closer to 4.7% at the time of recording this video, opposed to that 2.6, which you're getting with the FDIC in your cash management account. So it's just a little pro tip. How does the cash manager's free self-funded differ from a traditional bank? So how is it different? Because you may be coming from a bank and saying, this sounds too good. Why would they offer this for free? How does it work? So they do a great job of explaining it. With the cash manager, overdraft protection is provided by moving funds accounts up to $100,000 per day, basically, so that no overdraft actually occurs. Typically, a bank overdraft is tapping into a line of credit when the overdraft occurs. To provide overdraft protection, Cash Manager moves money from your Fidelity accounts before it draws on margin. Now, it's only going to draw on margin if you have your brokerage account enabled. If it needs to draw on margin at all, margin is tapped only if you have elected it on your funding accounts. With Cash Manager overdraft protection, you accrue no interest if no margin is drawn down. And if margin is drawn down, you can reduce interest by replenishing your funds, direct depositing, or moving money into your account. Typically with a bank, now this is really important, typically with overdraft incurs an interest as soon as it's used, and you are charged interest until you can pay your debt. So not only is it free, you're not going to get denied on things, and you just don't have to set up those transfers between it. It really creates a connection point between your Fidelity cash management account and your Fidelity brokerage account. So pretty neat information. So the last thing, there's a couple of different questions. If my minimum balance or my cash use, and we make that connection, am I going to sell it? Is it going to cause a margin call? No, it's not going to do that. It's not going to pull that. What types are eligible for this? You can actually use an existing bank account. But remember, those are done on the nightly time. And you can link it with a personal one. Can I use my bank as the self-funded overdraft protection? And the answer is no. You can only use an existing Fidelity account, but it's a really great feature. Personally use it, shouldn't be an issue with that. You can use it for that minimum that we talked about earlier, but not for the self-funded overdraft protection. And do you need more than one account now? So those are some of the quick facts. And so thank you for watching this part. So we're going to move on to, if you found this is great and have this, let me show you how to set it up, because it is not as intuitive as you think with Fidelity. So first, you're going to need to go into this feature called Cash Management. Once you click on your Cash Management, then you're going to want to click on something called Account Services. When you click on Account Services related to the account that you want to do it with, which has to be a cash management account, you're going to click on the Cash Manager tool. So a little bit difficult to navigate, but I'm here to help you. So click on that Cash Manager tool, and then you're going to go back in time, and you're going to go to a website that was probably designed in the early 2000s. But you know what? It works, and it's very effective. So once you click on that Cash Manager tool, they're going to ask you some prompts for the first time you've gone through. But once you've gone through it, because I've already done this, so it'll bring you and it asks you some simple questions. So essentially, you're going to ask is, do you want self-funded overdraft protection? Yes, you do want that. Do you want alerts? Now, you can set up email, text alerts, different things like that. So that's really what's kind of neat. For me personally, I don't really care about having an alert, but for some people, it's extremely important. you want to have that minimum balance. So that's kind of like, what do you want to keep at your bank at all times? Because if it's or the minimum balance that's going to trigger to move it. And you might say, hey, I want to have $1,000 in there. And then every time it's below that, I want to transfer $250. That's the minimum you can move for the minimum transfer. And then you want to say, do you want an alert for that? And if you do, that's another great way to do it. Now, do you want the maximum target balance, and what is that? Now, if you'll notice here, once you click that, you actually automatically, what this feature is just doing is this going to send you an alert to say, hey, what do you want to do with this extra money? And that's it. So let me know what you guys think. I hope you found this information helpful of using the cash management tool, because this tool can really help you set up free overdraft protection. So again, overdraft protection is not just a tool that can be used and help people who aren't making ends meet, but it can really also help you be more intentional with your money, because you're putting your money where you want it to do, and you're using some tools automatically to help you manage it. So if you're interested, I've done some other videos on Fidelity. Feel free to check those out. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.